Thank you, Akshay, and very good afternoon to all of you. If you look into the slides, I have put it a little differently that it's all about economics of energy efficiency. And to put it in the perspective that I am not an expert on renewable energy or energy efficiency, and what I'm going to share with you, it's mostly the work that we have done last year with OGTC member factories after the, I think, 2007 conference, where we had talked about this whole carbon neutrality, energy efficiency, carbon responsible management practices. And after that, many of the factories have gone ahead with this walkthrough energy audits. So this is like setting the tone, what we are going to discuss in this sessions, and we have got great panels from ICAHT, from KPMG, who has much more practical experience and knowledge to share with you. So my presentation is all about what we are doing as a part of the project, some of the idea you got from the previous sessions when Manfred was talking about our initiatives, what we have done previously and what we are going to do in future, and just taking some examples from this last year's work of 8 energy audits and some things to share with you. That's what exactly is the economics behind it, and this is not completely all about very distant things like what we keep on hearing, that's climate risk or global warming, but it is something much more practical, economic for us to look into the possibility. That's where we can really, while doing the, it also makes a business sense for us. It's 53rd year of Indo-German cooperations, and this is basically the 3 projects which we have named here. It's just the projects, those are in the field of environment and energy. The projects in which we are working with OGTC and with all of you is basically different projects, which is called the Private Sector Development or MSME Development Program. And all of these are program which is working with various Ministry of Environment and Forest, Ministry of Power, Bureau of Energy Efficiency. What Akshay was talking about, all these star rating labeling programs, what you are seeing, that's the electronic equipments, electrical equipments are now coming with the labels. So GIZ is working quite a lot with BE in all of these accounts in promoting these labeled, the lifelong learning programs for the different kind of people. That's the program of IGEN. And ComSolar is the program which is a new program, almost 1.5 year things, and it has got basically 2 elements. It's completely focused on the whole concept of that's whether the solar energy can be commercialized for the industrial as well as for other applications. And so it has got a concept like even taking these commercializations at the village level. So can the electricity to a village can be supplied through the commercialization of solar energy, and looking into certain sectors. And textiles happens to be one of the sectors where a study has been done with reference to its applicability, and also from the point of view of pilots would be taken care to demonstrate that's okay, it makes sense to do in a particular sector. What is the background? That's we have been hearing about energy efficiency, and one of the main points which, as a management professional, as a project manager, I keep on hearing when I interact with industry or associations. That's energy efficiency is good, but maybe April is something where we are not so energy intensive. And what are the different lines you see there? It's basically that as an industry, all of these things are lacking, or either it is limited availability of these, whether we call about do we have the financial viability of investing in EE measures, whether the knowledge or awareness are there. So that's a limiting factor. That's why it has not gained the pace what it should have been. The whole issue of technical interference between the industry and financial institutions, that's whether the bank side understand the need for financing these kind of investment. The whole issue of documentations, the best practices, where it would apply in specific to our context, means the context of apparel and textiles. That's where exactly and what it would make sense to us, and the whole knowledge and support system. So these are some of the factors that we have observed in interactions with you, that what are limiting the whole issue. That's why it is not gaining pace in the Indian apparel industry. Some of the things which we have done in the past, just I'm not going to read all of them, but basically sharing the knowledge with you, bringing the different experts to you, like what we are doing today is basically bringing the knowledge to you at your doorsteps, facilitating the walk through energy audits, putting all this into even a kind of energy guidebooks, and Also, when we're talking about this financing issue, a separate initiative is going on to building the capacity of the bankers who sanction your loan or who sanctions the loan for enterprises, telling them, educating them that's okay, what energy efficiency consists of and what are the different elements of it, why they should finance, what are the different factors they have to look into and those kind of stuff. This is the guidebook. Is basically we have not still published it in terms of hard copy, but the e-version is available, and those who are interested can get in touch with us. It's basically a summary of all of this. That's in the apparel manufacturing, where are the high area of energy consumptions, where we can save, what kind of different options available with us, and even goes into the whole issue of carbon accounting, means what is the carbon CO2 that we emit as a kind of whole process, and how to take the different actions to reduce the energy and other things. The panelists would speak in detail, but this is some of the facts which taken out from the last year works. That's what are the different areas which has been identified when we talk about our factories. As we say that this is less energy intensive, this is not something like a very high energy guzzler kind of scenario, but still even in the context in which we operate, so experts have identified certain area where if we look into properly, there are scope of saving energy and while also earning out of it. So the area like air handling units, how do you insulate the hot waters and those kind of things. And the various other stuff which I have just taken out from my slides. Now with the awareness, we know quite a bit about this whole issue of CFL lighting, the LED lightings and those kind of stuff. Just continuing on the previous slides, like for example, when I was discussing the people who has been doing this, the whole concept of can we use the solar panels for our steam requirement? And that was one of the very area which was identified as a kind of things. Or even the preheating of oil with solar energy, so that before you put into the boiler, if you do that, then it would maybe reduce your diesel consumptions, if it is a diesel fired boiler. Just some figures which has been worked out on that one, and just give a moment for you to look into. That's what are the investment on different actions which has been talked about, and what is the per annum saving the expert has been talking about. And if we look into very closely, we see that the payback is something ranging from even 2 months to a year kind of scenario. And in some cases, even 3 to 4 years. So where we have to really analyze all of these things with the help of experts who are there, that's okay. In our factory, where we can invest, what investment it would require, and what Paul was talking in the morning session, that's whether it makes sense for us to go for these kind of things or not. And when we're talking about solar panels, I think that most of the factories which we have seen, I'm not talking about Okhla, but mainly in the Faridabad, Gurgaon and Noida area, I think there is ample opportunity for using these solar panels and other things. This is all the data and other things what you are saying is coming from some of your factories only. So this is not the data which is coming from some other sample group, but part of your sample group. And I have just taken these 5-10 minutes to set the tone that whatever we are talking here, it definitely from our factory, from our systems, and it makes sense. Only thing what we have to really look into, that's how do we process forward into this one. What is the first step that we need to take? In the morning, Akshay has been talking about, Gunish has been talking about the measure everything. I think the first basic baseline for all of us would be that we start measuring that's what's our consumptions currently. If you are using the DG sets, how much diesels we are putting into that one. And if we have some other technology, what it would save to us. So these are the things that has been put down by the experts. And that's all as a part of setting of the tone before the actual technical experts who know the subject much better than me. My job was just to set the tone, to share with your findings with you, and If anything you want to discuss as a part of the projects, as a part of the OGTC members, that's how we can work together future on these kind of concepts. Then on behalf of the GIZ, I would be more than happy to discuss that in detail. That we continue to do with Mr. Kesar and Mr. Upal. But even if you have something to share, that's okay. This makes more sense at the working level because it's you who are the people who would really implement. It's not the top management which is going to implement those. Until unless you are convinced with the idea, you see there is a potentials, it's not going to take off. So the whole point of putting these sessions more of a technical in nature is that whatever the queries, whatever the concerns, whatever the doubts in your minds are there, that's whether it makes sense in my units, the area in which I am seeing, we all can discuss that pretty much today. Thanks a lot.